You're twins. We like twins. Arctic, absolutely. Thank you, young man. I see the standard of the audience is going to be very high today. The Arctic. So the word Arctic comes from the ancient Greek word arctos, which means with bear. Antarctic means without bear. So Arctic has bears, Antarctic no bear. So why don't polar bears eat penguins? Does anyone know that?
Why do polar bears eat penguins?
Well, this very sensible lady said that because hungry polar bears will literally eat anything. He'd eat me if he was hungry and I stood still long enough. Hold on 1 second. Excuse me, Bjorn. What do you think they eat? Seals, absolutely. I eat seals. And that's because seals have a very thick layer of fat or flubber underneath their fur. Polar bears need a really thick layer of fat to help keep them insulated in the cold. I think he's a bit more comfortable now. Oh look, there's a baby polar bear over there. She's looking round. He's very sweet. Oh look, that's even smaller than Bjorn. Can I show that? Can I hold that up? Thank you. See this little baby polar bear? Look, Bjorn. Oh, that's confusing for him. This is even smaller than a baby polar bear would be. A little bit smaller, but Bjorn was just a tiny bit bigger than this when he was born. And he's ended up one of the biggest carnivores that we have here on Earth. He probably weighs about 80 stone. It's hard to weigh him. He keeps wriggling around, gently. Keeps wriggling around. But look at that. Turn it into that great big thing. Feed it regularly, won't you? I hope it doesn't get as big as Bjorn. Very calm volunteer. Yours was the first hand, I can't deny you. Step over here. What's your name? Ewan. Hello, Ewan. Are you an animal lover? What's your favourite animal? Hamster. Come on, Bjorn. So do you have any pets? Well, so you've got dogs, so you'll smell quite interesting then. I don't think he's ever met a hamster. He did meet a husky last Christmas and he got... Oh yeah, you're going to smell really interesting. Oh, you can smell that, can't you? Oh, he's going to have a good old nosy sniff. What do you have for breakfast? Oh, cornflakes. He's a Weetabix bear. He's saying, oh, he loves that. Now that's his favourite tickle spot. Good boy. Oh, I think he's in a really good mood today. That's lovely. Gently, gently. He doesn't know his own strength. He gets a bit carried away. That's lovely. So if you'd like to go back over, thank you. He's got a tiny tail. They don't need big tails, actually, polar bears. That's great places to lose heat in the Arctic. So they have little tails. Just to keep them decent, they don't wear pants. So Bjorn's quite a young man, actually. He's only 7 years old. He's quite young. He's in the prime of his life. In the wild, they get to about 20, which isn't very old for such a big animal. In captivity, the oldest polar bear got to the age of 42. She lived in a zoo in America. That's because they fed her all of the time. In the wild, they might spend 6 months every year without eating a single thing because they can't find the food. So it's a very hard life for a polar bear. Why do you know, you're the third person that's asked me that in the last 24 hours. Why do they live in the Arctic? It's a very good question. I think when the Earth pieces broke apart and moved around, that's where they ended up. No, and they go down in there to have their babies. And when these babies are born, they're about the size, a little bit bigger than that young lady's polar bear there. So while they're busy feeding on their mum's milk, she's fast asleep in semi-hibernation, virtually asleep for the whole time. And while the babies get bigger and bigger, poor mummy polar bear gets smaller and smaller and thinner, and she loses up to a half of her body weight. So by the time she gets back up onto the ice, it's very important that she's able to eat seals straight away to stay nice and healthy and see-through. And there are, in 1 square centimetre, which is the distance between my fingers, if you can see my fingers, there are 1,600 hairs per square centimetre. So they've got the most incredibly thick fur. Underneath all that fur, what kind of skin do you think polar bears have? to stay warm. Good boy. So in the winter in the Arctic, it gets down to about -45 degrees centigrade. So if you had a cup of hot chocolate and you spilt it onto the floor, it would freeze into an icicle before it landed. That's how cold it is in the winter in the Arctic. Good boy. It's very warm in here for him. He gets a bit itchy. Good boy. Good boy, Bjorn. Oh, he's being very, very well behaved today. Oh, did he? Didn't mean to. Did you have something tasty for breakfast? What did you eat? Did you have breakfast? Bran flakes. You're all very healthy. He had cornflakes. You had bran flakes. Bjorn normally eats Weetabix. He likes 4 Weetabix and lots of milk. I have to feed him though. He's not very good. Keep your hands out like this, and he'll come and say hello. He's very nosy. I think you've made a friend there. Good boy, Bjorn. So the polar bears are the biggest of all the bears. They're bigger than the black and brown bears, and they're the biggest carnivore that we have here on Earth. On their hind legs, they're about 3 meters tall, but the biggest polar bear they ever found was 4 meters tall. So that's the height of 2 men, one on top of the other, and he weighed 120 stone. That's a very, very heavy polar bear. Good boy. Good boy. So they can eat about 3 or 4 seals in one meal if they can catch them that much, but that's how much food they can eat. But when they're not hungry anymore, they tend to just eat the fat layer off the seal and leave the meat. So another lucky animal gets a free meal. They just need to keep their fat layers up all the time to help keep them insulated against the cold. Good boy. Yeah, polar bears, they do that. So the only time polar bears, you ever see polar bears with each other, would either be a mum polar bear with her baby. So I have taught him to do a little trick, because it gets a bit boring up there, to be honest. There's only so many seals you can eat. So I do need the help from you tasty seals in the audience. So, over here, what are your seal impressions like? Can you do good seal impressions? Oh, 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 oh. Can we have some seal impressions? Oh, 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 oh. Thank you. Woo! Steady. Yes. Clap your flippers. Oh, 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 oh. Very good. You're going to be brilliant seals. Good boy, good boy. What about some seal impressions here in the middle? Can we have some? Excellent. You two are the best so far. And what about over this side? We have some seal impressions. Oh, 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 oh. Very good. Okay. What we're going to do, we're going to tell Bjorn he's going to think that he's in the Arctic and there's a delicious group of tasty seals. He's going to get really, really excited and do his trick. So are you ready? When I say 1, 2, 3 now, are you ready? 1, 2, 3 now, as loud as you can. Oh, 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 excellent. You're a brilliant group. Keep going as loud as you can. Keep going. Oh, 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 oh. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Louder, louder, louder. Keep going. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, yeah. He's really excited now. Oh. Good boy. Good boy. He's really... Round of applause. Good boy. All right, good boy. Good boy. Excuse me.
Big Abba fan.
Look, you see twins. He loves twins. Yes, I had to. But I had to give him a name that was appropriate for
He's in a lovely mood. He's sniffing you. Don't block his nose, he won't be able to...
You want to touch it?
See? Oh. Good boy. Is there anybody in there? No, only what he ate this morning. Shh, don't tell anyone.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is a new bird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman, then pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man. But you can do the job when you're in town. Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we've made, walking in a winter wonderland.